baseball. Tonight it's game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. The Astros meet the New York Mets. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Astros swept the Redbirds. Now they win last night, 4 straight on the homestand. JD.
Looking for their first 5-game winning streak of the season. The Astros playing very good baseball of late. Last night they beat Johan Santana, so you figure the rest of the weekend gets a little bit easier. One of the big stories for the Astros of late, the work of the bullpen. Came in support of Mike Hampton last night. Outstanding work. A couple of guys featured there who really elevated their game. Jeff Fulcino, Alberto Arias have really stepped up in a big way. LaTroy Hawkins also worked last night, and Jose Valverde's got it going on. Really leaning heavily on that split finger fastball of late. Valverde back on track, and the Astros bullpen doing a real nice job. Everybody for this Astros club playing well right now.
And they win it 5-4. Another 1-run win coming up. Russ Ortiz tries to keep it going. He pitched well in Los Angeles in his last start. Young lefty Jonathan Neese opposes him. The ball game comes your way right after this. Bud Light Lime, by the Ford F-150, by Jack in the Box, by the Progressive Insurance Group, and by Southwest Airlines. Cloudy evening outside. Inside, the Astros have been on a roll. They try for their first 5-game winning streak of the season tonight. They have swept the Cardinals and then won the opener last night, 5-4 from the Mets. Now game 2 of this series shows you the starting lineup for Jerry Manuel's club, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Angel Pagan leads it off in center field. It's Luis Castillo at second base. David Wright at third base, batting third. The cleanup man is first sacker Daniel Murphy, with Jeff Francoeur in right field, Corey Sullivan in left field, Omir Santos the catcher, Alex Cora at shortstop, batting 8th, Jonathan Neese the pitcher in the 9th spot.
Russ Ortiz set to make his 265th Major League start here this evening. 12th in an Astro uniform, 3-4, 433 the earned run average. Pitched well last time out, but a no decision against the Dodgers.
Pagan shortens up and takes strike one. Jerry Lane is the home plate umpire. Pagan just turned 28. He's from Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico. He missed the first month after surgery in spring training to remove a bone spur from his right elbow. 1 ball, 1 strike. He went 1 for 5 last night. He's taken over in center field temporarily for the injured Carlos Beltran, who has a bone bruise below his knee. 3-10 for Pagan. Ortiz gets a call there, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes for Russ, who is 9-7 lifetime against the Mets, facing them for the first time since the 07 season. That misses. It's 2-2. Russ's 3-4 record. He got 2 wins as a starter back in April. Then he went to the bullpen. Made 1 start in May. Back to the bullpen. And he is 0-2 since he came out of that pen in the last 6 starts. But he's pitched well on some of those games. There's a looping single to left field. And Pagan opens it with a hit.
Just a little dying quail. Ball get in on him, and he hit a little soft flare in the shallow left. Defensively, the Astros have Lee Bourne and Hunter Pence in the outfield. Hunter with a good throw last night to nail a runner at home plate. Keppinger, Tejada, Matsui, and Coast. And Pudge Rodriguez behind the dish for Ortiz.
Now with a runner at first, Pagan 6 for 6 in steals, and Luis Castillo stepping up. 296 for Castillo, no homers, 21 runs batted in. He was a hot hand last night for the Mets. 3 hits and a walk for Castillo. He drove in a run with a double. Around to bunt, he takes ball 1. Castillo is an excellent bunter. Jeff Keppinger in at third. Out of respect for that.
The Mets last night went single walk single in the first inning. Put a Singleton on the board off Mike Hampton in the top of the first. Castillo, a slash hitter, hits the ball all over the field, doesn't have any real power. Capable of working a walk and very good handler of the bat. If you're thinking about a hit and run or something like that, he's your man.
And the Mets would be inclined to think about that because they don't have much power. They lead the league in steals with 84. Pagan perfect. Around to bunt again he takes, and it's 2-0. The Mets are last in homers with 54. They're next to last in total bases and have really been decimated by those injuries to the likes of Jose Reyes and Carlos Beltran and Carlos Delgado. Now Gary Sheffield has gone on the disabled list tonight, and that allows Jonathan Neese to be on this roster. That's a strike, and it's 2-1. Pudge coming out of the chute in case Pagan does set sail for second base.
Pudge with that great arm and that great history of throwing out base runners, very quick behind home plate. You got to be careful, though. Sometimes a catcher, in his haste to get into a throwing position, will block the umpire, and you can lose a strike that way.
Last night the Mets scored 4 runs on 13 hits. They lost 5-4. Now it's 3-1. Well, you mentioned the first inning last night. The Mets really did have a threat. First 3 men reaching. David Wright singled in the first run. Then a strikeout of Jeff Francoeur, a double play ball on Tatis, and Mike Hampton began the turnaround.
And Mike had good stuff last night. He ended up allowing 4 runs in 5 2/3, but he punched out 7. Real good action on his cutter and a sinker.
Got win number 6 of the year. Showing bunt again. It's ball 4 to Castillo. First and second, nobody out for David Wright.
David Wright has not hit for power this year, but he's their best guy in the middle of the order. You look at the Mets in the month of July. He's really scuffling. 236 average, 26th place out of the 30 major league clubs, and dead last in runs, home runs, extra base hits, and slugging.
David Wright is the man they want at the plate, a .316 hitter with 5 homers, 45 runs batted in. Even though he's not hitting for power, he's doing some other things. And he takes ball 1. He's walked 50, make a strike run. He's walked 53 times. Last night, a hit, an RBI, and a couple of walks for David Wright, already a four-time All-Star at age 26.
And Russ very deliberate on the mound, especially with runners on base. And Jerry Lane very deliberate behind home plate too. You got to stay with Jerry. Yeah. Do that delayed strike call.
Let's not be hasty. It's just like swatting fly. He's taken so many shots this year behind the plate that didn't faze him at all. No balls, 2 strikes with Murphy on deck. Wright came up with the Mets in 04. He was the 129th different third baseman in their club's history. It had been a revolving door. He has stopped that revolving door at third and really cemented himself. Cecil Cooper hoping to see what the Astros got last night. And that's a big turnaround after the Mets threatened in the first. Fouls it back. Even though Wright has been on base at a 406 clip. 406 on base average. He struck out 93 times. Astros starting pitchers have put together a long run. 24 games, a 3.34 ERA in those 24. The Astros have gone 16-8. Wright looks at it, and it's 1-2.
A good try there. Throwing the breaking ball out of the zone, seeing if you can get Wright to chase. And Wright, I imagine, feels a lot of pressure in these RBI situations because he is the one horse in the middle of that order. He has to guard against going out of the zone to try to drive in runs. Has to convince himself, no, just do what you do. Get a strike and take a good swing at it.
That's a very good point. Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Ortiz. That is big. 1 out.
High breaking ball, and Wright just pulls off it. Watch where his head ends up after the swing. I don't think that's where he wanted to throw that pitch. He got away with it.
Wright, a .336 hitter with men in scoring position. Retired for out number 1. Daniel Murphy follows. Murphy looks at it. There's strike 1 to him. 241 for Murphy. 5 homers, 31 runs batted in. Last night, a very difficult night. 3 strikeouts. Then he singled to right field in the 7th inning. Might have had an RBI, but Frank Gore was thrown out at the plate by Hunter Pence. It's 1-1. The Mets lead the National League in batting average with runners in scoring position. .280 as a team.
So must be they just haven't had enough guys in scoring position.
Must be. The 13th in runs scored.
Okay.
1-2. Have to wait.
Reserve judgment. I'm sure Jerry's calling it orally, probably before he gives you that right arm. Everybody down there, everybody that matters is aware of the call.
He jumped up last year from AA Binghamton to the Mets. Just 4 at-bats at AAA. Ground ball up the left field line. That'll drive in 1. Pagan is home to make it 1-0. Throw goes into second with a play there and not in time. RBI double for Murphy. It's his 14th double, 32nd run batted in, and the Mets lead 1-0.
Mets draw first blood again tonight. The Astros will play from behind. Murphy, who had no luck last night, gets a little good fortune here. Just fights this one off, squirts it right down the third base line. Carlos, the former third baseman, making a play like an infielder there on Murphy.
Pagan scores the first run, and there's the play at second. Runners at second and third, 1 out for Jeff Francoeur. Tonight's Geico quote comes from Pudge Rodriguez on last night's play at the plate with Francoeur.
That's one of those things that, you got to read and see the runaways ways coming, and then you be ready to get hit. And basically, Hunter threw that ball perfect, 1 bound to me, and I'll be able to secure good in my glove and let Franco hit me.
He was out on the play from Hunter Pence. Now he swings and fouls it for strike one. 258 for Francoeur, 6 homers, 43 runs batted in, and he did drive in a run in the 5th inning with a single last night, going 1 for 4. Then he was hit by a pitch. Francoeur, 25 years old, infielders in on the right side. Tejada staying back about halfway, and Keppinger also on the left side. This liner goes to Michael Bourne in left center. He dives, and now both runners tag. He drops the ball as he reaches in, and it's 2-0 Mets. On a sac fly by Francoeur, his 44th run batted in, and Bourne kind of misjudged him. He laid out and made the catch.
This ball maybe knuckling on him with some late sinking action, and he has to lay out to secure it. And that makes it easy for Castillo to score from third base, who heads up was tagging the whole way.
And Murphy went to third on that sac fly. 2-0 now, and it's Corey Sullivan. Breaking pitch good for strike one on Sullivan. He's 1 for 5 since joining the Mets. Sullivan, a former Colorado Rocky. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Fernando Tatis played left field last night against the lefty Hampton. Ortiz has allowed 11 first inning runs in 12 starts. That was tap foul, 0-2. Mike Hampton gave up that run last night in the first. His first inning ERA this season is 9.53. And Russ and Mike both have had those out of the box difficulty. That's not all that unusual for a starting pitcher. It might be a little bit higher than many have. But the other team's order is set up a strike in that first inning. Sometimes the pitcher has to make quick adjustments. That one goes through the right side to make it 3-0. And this is not what any starting pitcher wants, a 3-0 deficit. Sullivan driving in his first as a Met.
No, it's precisely what Jerry Manuel, I'm sure, was hoping for with young Jonathan Nice making the start tonight. Nice will be working for just the 6th time in a Major League uniform, 3rd time this year. A youngster with outstanding stuff, and now he's got a little bit of a lead to work with. And you're dead on, Brownie. First inning pitchers are always a little bit more vulnerable, and especially finesse guys who really rely on locating until they start hitting the spots and get the feel for their off-speed pitches. The power guys is not such a big issue because they can just blow it by you.
Amir Santos takes strike one. 26 runs batted in for Santos, 5 homers, a .265 average. He was 3 for 4 last night, including a long ball. Cecil Cooper's club dropping behind 3-0. Broken bat roller, Matsui over to Coast. And the Mets strike the 3 runs on 3 hits, leave a man. It's the Mets 3, the Astros coming up. Up with this starting lineup for Cecil Cooper, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Michael Bourne leads it off in center field. It's Kazuo Matsui at second base. Miguel Tejada at shortstop. The cleanup man Carlos Lee is the left fielder. Pudge Rodriguez tonight batting fifth and doing the catching. Hunter Pence is in the sixth spot in right field with Chris Coast at first base. Jeff Keppinger at third base. Russ Ortiz the pitcher.
Jonathan Neese. As you look at the numbers from AAA this year, 5-6 with a 3.82 ERA, but much better of late. He's been red hot down there in the International League the last 5 or 6 starts. 22 years of age, considered one of the top prospects for the Mets. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Out of the same high school that produced Chad Billingsley of the Dodgers.
Defiance, Ohio. Defiance High School. Michael Bourne takes his first pitch. Fastball up, and now looks over another one. Count runs to 1-1 on Michael. 287 for Michael. 3 homers, 26 runs batted in. Had 2 hits last night, both infield hits. Lines that one foul.
He's featuring a little bit of a cut fastball here.
He was a 7th round pick in the fertile 05 draft. He's upstairs with that one. 2-2. As we mentioned, he just joined the Mets from the minor leagues, with Gary Sheffield being placed on the disabled list tonight to make room for Jonathan Neese.
Jerry Manuel man short on his bench. Just 4 bench players at his disposal tonight. Neese 5-0 with a 0.72 ERA in his last 7 starts for AAA Buffalo. So they called up a red hot pitcher.
Yes, they did. Foul back. He got 2 starts back in May for the Mets, and no decisions in both of those. One of them a good one at home against Pittsburgh, 6 innings, 2 runs. The Mets won that game 7-3. All the way. So Jonathan Neese gets a shot in this rotation.
Let that Met fan catch that ball.
Inside, and he loses Bourne on a leadoff walk. Bourne drawing his 41st walk of the year.
Here are the Mets defensively. Corey Sullivan gets his second start in left. Pagan in center. Francoeur in right. Baroa, Cora, Castillo, and Murphy. Homer Santos behind home plate again tonight. And Schneider, not hitting, gets the night off.
Former Met Kazuo Matsui steps up.
It's right at third base, by the way. The graphic had Baroa.
Okay. Matsui 252 as this game starts. Leans back from ball 1. 3 homers, 23 runs batted in for Kazuo, and a 307 on base average. Dave Clark had signs for him. Matsui 1 for 5 last night. He's hitting 277 in July.
That was really swinging it well there, and it's cooled off a little bit in the last week or so.
Gary Reedus is in town. He and Dave Clark had a long talk before the game tonight. He oversees the base running in the Astros minor league system. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There are a lot of subtleties that escape us about this game sometimes. They pointed out one of those, where the grass is cut out between first and second base. It's only about 4.5 steps for Michael Bourne. In other fields, in other cities, it's further to the cutout. Matsui strikes out. So when you measure that lead, you don't go by the cut, you go by the number of steps if you're a base runner. Neese gets out number 1. Miguel Tejada. Spotlight show excellent. We got a little preview of that tonight on Astros Live. It'll be airing at 10 o'clock tonight on Miggy. We recommend it to you. 329 with 8 homers, 54 runs batted in. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Leads the league in hits with 127. Second in batting average now in the league. There's strike 1. Miguel talking about the $2,000 signing bonus he received from the Oakland A's when he inked his first professional contract, scouted by Juan Marichal.
He probably thought that was $1 million.
He did. Thought that would go a long way for his family.
Yeah, it probably did.
1 ball, 1 strike. And he saw that as an avenue to take care of his family. Should be an interesting show tonight. It's already aired once, but it re-airs tonight. Spotlight Miguel Tejada. 10 o'clock. Patty Smith will be interviewing and producing and writing. Bourne draws a throw. He's the league leader with 37 steals.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to get a pretty sizable lead over there and get a couple looks at Nice's pickoff move. So you can get some kind of a tell with a poker player, see what he does when he comes to first versus going home.
Tejada rolls one. There's the second sack for Castillo with a spin around play over to Murphy. 2 outs. Bourne to second base. Ball hit slowly. That gave Castillo time to get there. Now it's Carlos Lee.
He starts to move to second base in case Bourne was breaking, and then has to make an adjustment and come back the other way. Either that or just moving late to position himself based on the pitch selection.
306 for Carlos. 15 homers, 59 runs batted in.
Fielders will anticipate the ball being hit in a certain direction or will move prior to the pitch depending on what the pitcher and catcher agree on. For instance, in this case, if it's a changeup, they might think Lee would be more inclined to pull that. You may see the shortstop cheat a little bit towards the hole. Key for the infielders, of course, is don't move too early and tip anything off to the hitter.
2-0, and there's the alignment on the infield. Lee is hitting .365 lifetime against the Mets, his best lifetime average against any club. .367 against lefties this year. Nice continues to throw the fastball away to Carlos, getting a strike there for a 2-1 count. Carlos drove in a first inning run last night with a single, 1 for 4 with a walk. Fouls it back. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros 31-17 since the 30th of May. Worked their way to 4 games over 500 now, 50-46.
As Cecil Cooper, recent days, well, it's been more than days, weeks now, talking about the Astros not having a real hot streak. Well, I think they're having one. They haven't won 12 in a row or anything like that, but they're in a real nice stretch of baseball.
Yeah, they're 14-6 in July.
Big week coming up with 4 in Chicago, 3 in St. Louis.
Very big. That went off the mitt of Santos. Will allow Bourne to get to third on the walk to Lee. And Pudge Rodriguez batting with runners at first and third.
90 feet that Bourne gained there, not all that significant unless Nice cuts loose with another one. There the Astros since the All-Star break, 6-2, averaging just about 5 runs per game, and pitching very well. 296 earned run average. Big opportunity here for Pudge to get the Astros on the board after giving up that 3 spot in the top half. Dave Clark with a lot of signs out there, and not that he did anything meaningful. Just go ahead and get yourself a knock here, Pudge.
264, 8 homers, 32 driven in for Pudge. 4-game hitting streak for him right now. Turns away from ball 1. Last night he had 2 hits and 4 at bats. He's Bourne at third and Lee at first. Mets have struck for 3 in the top of the first. Hunter Pence on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pudge 333 in July. Leads all active players in doubles with 538. Up the middle into center field. It's 3-1 on an RBI single by number 77, Pudge Rodriguez. 5-game hitting streak, 33 runs batted in. The Astros get a run back as they did last night in the first.
And Nice pays for that leadoff walk. Sure, coming over were many times scouting report, hey, don't walk Bourne. He walked him, and now he trots home on that RBI single.
Now 2 men on for Hunter Pence. He was hitting shots in batting practice tonight. He's been slumping. Takes ball 1. 293 for Hunter. 12 homers, 41 runs batted in. Neese comes in with it. Pence is hitting .312 against lefties. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Lefty last night in Santana, another one here today, so hopefully he can get some good looks and get a little rhythm going at home plate. He's been striking out a bunch lately and not walking at all. It's contrary to what he was doing so well earlier this year.
That's a strike, and it makes the count 1 and 2 rather.
That ball got on him in a hurry. You see Hunter flinch there. Had a fastball to his liking, but just couldn't get it started.
He
kind of works under the ball a little bit of a slinger.
Breaking pitch, roll to third. Right goes to second to Castillo. Low throw, but it's a forced play for the third out. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 men left for the Astros. It's 3-1 Mets. Victorino's had 4 hits in that Phillies game today. He has 123. Then it's Andy Ramirez, David Wright, and Ryan Braun. Phillies 14, St. Louis 5. Top of the 9th inning. Slugfest.
Yeah, they've been playing all day.
Yeah. Alex Cora looks at strike 1. 242 for Cora, no homers, 12 runs batted in. He's been playing a lot of shortstop. Has a thumb injury right now. Torn ligament in his right thumb. Pops that one foul. Keppinger over. Out of play for him. And Cora, a veteran, excellent defensive player, took a break last night. Angel Baroa played shortstop in last night's game against the lefty Mike Hampton.
Yeah, Alex Cora, one of those guys you like to have on your club, but you don't like him to get a whole lot of at-bats. He's a capable backup because he's such a good glove man, but as an everyday player, his offensive weaknesses get exposed.
Well, according to reports, he needs surgery on that torn ligament in his right thumb after the season. He's going to wait and plow through the injury. Jose Reyes is rehabbing right now from a hamstring injury. And the Mets are hoping to buy some time until they can get him back. 245 for Cora in 12 seasons. Now he's saying he might like to manage someday. He's really hanging around the Mets coaches, absorbing all the knowledge he can. 2-2 with pitcher Jonathan Neese on deck. Cora was with Boston last year. Came up with the Dodgers.
Way back in 1998. Reminds me a little bit of Juan Castro, who's currently with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He's a good glove man. Been able to stick around a good long while in the big leagues.
Grounded at second. Matsui in. 1 out.
Friday, August 7th, the Brewers are in town. 7:05 game. If you're one of the first 10,000 fans, you'll receive a retro workout T-shirt courtesy of the Methodist Bone and Joint Center. After the game, Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil. Astros tickets available at astros.com. T-shirts, fireworks, and the Brewers in town. Sounds like a good combo.
Yeah. Jonathan Neese takes strike one. He's a hot hand, as JD mentioned. 222 in his major league time. He had a little bit last year with the Mets. 3 starts with them. 1-1-1. It's no balls, 2 strikes to the young lefty. Ortiz has thrown strike one to 8 of 9 batters. It's 1-2. Tomorrow, the finale of this homestand. Livan Hernandez versus Brian Moeller at 105. Astros live at 12:30.
Ballpark will be oozing with craftiness.
Yes, it will.
The veterans Moeller and Hernandez. Livan. He can throw that slow curveball up there to rival Roy's.
Yes, he can.
60 miles an hour.
9-5 lifetime against Houston. That's a breaking pitch for strike 3. Strikeout number 2.
Livan doesn't have the 95-mile-an-hour gas to go with it, but he's a good competitor. Been around a good long while. Russ snapping off pretty good yacker here to finish off Neese.
Angel Pagan, his last 15 games, has hit .328. Hey, glad to have you with us tonight. High def. We were talking about the different camera placements we've had for this series from different angles that the fans don't normally see.
Yeah, we got that one back on the left field line again tonight, below the foul pole. And, do we have Frankie perched up in right field again tonight?
No, there's a party up there.
There's a party up there.
He's not allowed to attend the party. So Frank Trevino cannot get up there. Yes, get well, Lance Berkman. Lance is in a boot right now. Roller to first. Chris Coast takes it for a 1-2-3 second for Ortiz. 3-1 pass. second. Now in the bottom half, Chris Coast leads it off. And the former Philly looks at strike one. 246 for Chris, 2 homers, 12 runs batted in. Had a 2-run double last night in the 5th inning, going 1 for 3 with a walk. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had key hits in recent games. Made some good plays at first base as well. Line drive to left field. He gets another knock. And we also found out last night he's a good interview, as he spoke with Greg Lucas after the game.
He used to host his own radio show.
Did he really?
He was playing independent ball. He's a good fastball hitter, and he's trying to throw that fastball by him in the inner half, and Coast jumped all over it. Yeah, he spent, what, 3 or 4 different seasons with the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks of the Northern League. And he played in the summertime, and he worked in the front office in the winter, hosted a radio show that paid $12 a day.
Sounds familiar. Jeff Keppinger, the third baseman, looks at strike one. 271 for Jeff, 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. Well, then that really explains how he came across last night. So happy and grateful to be in a race.
It's a great story. A 33-year-old rookie back with the Phils. Back when he was 6 when he first came to the big leagues. He was a cobber.
Was he really?
Concordia College Cobbers.
Haven't heard of that nickname before. Corn cobs?
Well, I see it's North Dakota. Yeah, it's built on the college was built on a cornfield.
Okay. Bouncer, double play ball here. Castillo shoveling. Cora, plenty of time. 4-6-3 double play for Nice. And Ortiz comes up.
So standard issue 4-6-3. Pretty easy double play right there. Nice, after working fairly hard in the first, set up for a quick one here in the second, although Russell Ortiz is better than your average bear when it comes to swinging the bat as a pitcher.
Strike one to Russ coming up later in our Dodge Grab Life feature. We'll hear from Russ on the talent he wishes he had. He has 5 hits, 26 at bats, including a homer. He has talent with the bat. Mike Hampton answered him with his first homer of the year last night. That was big. That was number 16 of Mike's career. And the Astros a 3-1 lead in the 4th inning last night. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jonathan Nice trying to give the Mets a shot in the arm. A wounded ball club right now. 16 times they have used the disabled list this season.
Yeah, he needs, the Mets need him to step up for a lot of reasons, and one would be probably just have a positive headline in the back pages of the papers in New York.
Santos back. No play.
With the Mets struggling and the issues with the front office. Tony Bernazard, the player personnel guy, challenging the AA team to a fight a few days back. So there's a lot of turmoil surrounding this club, and obviously that plays well in New York.
2-2 to Ortiz. And strikeout for Nice ends the second inning with the Mets ahead 3-1.
By the MD Anderson Cancer Center, July 25th, 2005. Craig Biggio and Lance Berkman go back-to-back not once but twice in the same game, first and third innings against the same pitcher, Corey Lytle. 7-1 win over the Fightins.
Mets 3, Astros 1. Michael Barnes repositions himself into left center field for Luis Castillo, who walked and scored in the first inning. Castillo dribbles one up the line at first for Chris Coast, and pitch one out for Ortiz.
Fox Sports Houston has a Twitter page. Expand your sporting network at twitter.com/FSHouston. Greg will keep you in the loop.
He will do that. David Wright struck out in the first inning. In that Phillies 14-6 win over the Cardinals, the winning pitcher was Rodrigo Lopez. He's 3-0. Jason Mott took the loss. He's 3-4. Kyle Loesch lasting 4 innings, allowing 3 earned runs.
Spoiled a big day by Ricky Ankiel. A couple of sparkling catches and home run.
He went 3 for 5. Julio Lugo went 4 for 5, drove in a run. Matt Holliday 2 for 4 with an RBI. So the Cardinals acquisitions have moved right into that lineup. Skip Schumacher was in right field today, and Joe Thurston at second base. Driven up the right field line toward the corner. This ball hit pretty well, and it's foul on the fence. 1-2 to David Wright. Has been frustrating for many of the Mets hitters in their new ballpark, Citi Field, because of the difficulty in hitting home runs there. Wright has been unable to make up the difference on the road so far this season. Has only 2 homers away from Citi Field. It's 2-2. Daniel Murphy will be next. Ortiz has 4 quality starts in his last 6 appearances. Three balls, 2 strikes. Rust hasn't matched his best work with the Astros' offensive output. He lost a 2-1 game here to Kansas City, giving up 2 runs in 7 innings. Got a no decision here, left with a 3-2 lead, giving up 2 runs in 7 1/3. The Astros lost that one late. Last time out, left with a 3-2 lead, no decision. The Astros lost that one late. Wright takes a walk.
Astros are 5-6 and Russ's 11 starts, and if you consider Russ your 5th starter, and that's the way camp broke, you would take that. Just a game under 500 with your 5th starter is pretty good. Here are the standings now with the Cardinals losing to the Phillies this afternoon. Cubs winners, they beat the Reds. Reds continue to fall back.
Kevin Hart the winner there, beating Johnny Cueto. Kevin Gregg got his 20th save. Murphy had the RBI double, a ground ball inside the third base bag.
Cubs got some hitters starting to heat up. Of course, Derek Lee has been on a nice long run, and Aramis Ramirez back healthy, swinging it well. Looks like Soriano's starting to contribute. Milton Bradley had a home run today. He's picking it up a little bit.
Astros and Cubs, 4-game series starting Monday night at Wrigley. In tight, snap throw to first. Ball 1 to Murphy. Judge throwing around the batter.
David Wright not hitting for power this year, but he's stealing bases, so they're going to keep a close eye on him. Get that inside fastball to a left-handed hitter. Sets up that play.
Hunter going, line drive. Hunter Pence backing on it over toward the line, running catch. He spins and throws to first, and no double play. Wright got back. Nice play by Hunter. 2 down.
And Murphy with a bid for another extra base hit, had the double down the left field line first time. Now he takes a shot at the right field corner. Hunter just with a real nice break, able to track it down. High fastball. A good looking stroke there. And David Wright just went as far as he could, right up cozy to second base where he would have been able to score had that ball gotten down. Time to scramble back to first to avoid the double play.
Good base running. Jeff Francoeur takes ball one. With that line drive sac fly to center. Derek Lee left the Cubs game with back spasms today. That's been a problem for him throughout this season.
And Ted Lilly's going to have surgery on his knee.
Yeah. He's going to have surgery on his knee and also be rehabbing his shoulder at the same time. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Hart will occupy that spot in the Cubs rotation apparently. Pretty good chance the Astros will be facing him in that 4-game series at Wrigley Field starting Monday night.
Yeah, it seems like he would be up on Thursday.
This one gets away from Podge. Tried to barehand it and whip a throw to second base, but Wright is able to move to second on the wild pitch. Count 2-1.
Breaking ball in the dirt. He's able to block it, but not contain it. Trying to make the barehanded grab, could not. So, man in scoring position now for Francoeur.
This one pops out of the mid of Podge, and on that swing and a miss, Wright will take third. Ball was not tipped, so that's going to be a pass ball, it would appear. Let's see it.
Just off the end of the middle. Well, it looks like Pudge is using a new glove or something. He's having a hard time securing some of these.
It's his 5th pass ball of the year. Count 2-2. And he got him to chase the high rider. Francoeur strikes out. Number 3 for Ortiz. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 3-1 Mets in the 3rd. The MD Anderson Cancer Center and by Southwest Airlines. Mets lead at 3-1 here in Houston. Michael Bourne had a leadoff walk and came around to score in the 1st inning. Takes the big curveball from Jonathan Neese for strike 1. Neese is high with that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Michael confirmed a story in Sports Illustrated this week. Excellent story about base running in baseball. Slaps one to the left side. Cora with a throw to Murphy in time. 1 out.
What did he confirm?
Well, we'll get to that after our Jack in the Box standings. It features the best team records this month. The Angels, Phillies, Yankees, Astros, Cubs, and Braves have the best records this month. Story in Sports Illustrated about base running, and especially Carl Crawford, who grew up, as you know, in Houston. Carl Crawford played on the same Little League team as Michael Bourne, and that team was coached by Michael's father. Kazuo Matsui takes strike one, shortening up. And Carl was such a good football player that his father was just going to take him out of Little League baseball and have him concentrate on football. Michael's father went to Carl's house, talked to Carl's dad, and said, why don't you keep him in baseball? He's such a good player, and persuaded him to do that. And now Carl Crawford leads the American League in steals, and Michael Bourne, from the same Little League team in Houston, leads the National League in steals.
Yeah, I asked Michael last year. I said, so if you and your buddy Carl have a race, who wins? And Michael said, probably Carl.
Fly ball, the shortstop Cora is out, looking to the center fielder Pagan. 2 outs. Carl was recruited to play quarterback at the University of Nebraska. Quite a football player, but he made a good choice.
And Michael was a basketball player in high school at Nimitz. An outstanding basketball player as well as a baseball player. So most of his friends didn't even know he played baseball. A lot of them anyways. Where are you going? To baseball practice. You're a baseball player?
They know now. Miguel Tejada with a .366 batting average at home. Pass the curveball foul, strike one. Grounded out to second in the first inning. That's going to be some kind of a week ahead for the Astros. They'd love to get a couple more wins in the bank before going to Chicago and St. Louis. East comes inside. The appeal goes to first, and there's a check swing call by Tony Randazzo. 1-1 to Miguel Tejada.
I like this kid's arm. Good stuff.
What do you like about it?
Well, he's throwing an 88-mile-an-hour cutter. We've seen him get as high as 95 with the fastball, although mostly it's been 90 to 92. Probably throwing a little two-seamer, in the low 90s, and able to crank it up with the four-seamer to the mid-90s. We really haven't seen a whole lot of yet. Is it just a straight change? But that curveball is a good off-speed offering for him.
Very upright, isn't he?
Yeah, he stays tall on that back leg, gets good leverage, and that's really going to help with that curveball. Get some depth on the cut fastball, too.
Seventh-round draft choice in 05.
At times looks like he works under the ball, kind of gets underneath it and rides it high, and reminiscent of, not to the same degree, but reminiscent of Sid Fernandez when he was in the Met uniform, throwing that riding fastball.
Boy, did he ever have some good years. Out to the shortstop, Cora. On to Murphy, and the third inning is routine for Jonathan Neese. 3-1 Mets. 1969 Miracle Mets in home runs. Was it Ron Swoboda? Ed Kranepool?
Guessing it wasn't a real big number. Donklin Denon.
Yeah, there's 26 was the number, we're told.
Tommy Agee.
Possibility.
Leon Jones. Was Clendenon there the whole year? He wasn't. He was a trade.
Sullivan falls behind 0-2. He ripped an RBI single to right field in the first. He was signed to a minor league contract early this year, and he was hitting .290 with Buffalo. He was called up. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Corey Sullivan. Early evening game in downtown Houston. The Astros have won 19 of their last 27 games in this ballpark. Foul away. The Mets are 19-31 on the road this season. They're 2-6 on this trip. They lost 3 of 4 in Atlanta, and they lost 2 of 3 in Washington. It's 2-2. While the Astros have won 14 of their last 20, the Mets have lost 17 of their last 24. Bounce foul. Johan Santana last night gave up 12 hits in 6 2/3 innings. He's given up 12 hits one other time in his major league career, no more than that. So the Astros beat the Mets ace 5-4. Foul ball, keep the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes on Sullivan.
And usually Santana's so good at keeping hitters off stride with that fastball changeup combination, but the Astros real good swings at him last night.
Ortiz, 35 years old, missed all last season. Fly ball foul. Keppinger over, but it's out of play for him.
Russ, when good this year, has been doing a nice job of working down in the zone, but he's always been a guy who's been able to pitch up effectively with his fastball. A lot of riding fastballs here tonight, cut fastballs up and in on the left-handed hitters. You got Francoeur to chase one about neck high to punch out then the third. It's a breaking ball that he just didn't finish. The breaking pitch has been inconsistent for him. A couple good ones and a couple bad ones. As long as you don't throw the bad ones right in the happy zone and hang it there, you usually survive.
That's a fastball up for a leadoff walk. That's the 3rd walk for Ortiz.
Yeah, my guess there, that we talk about how he can be effective upstairs with the fastball, but with Corey Sullivan hitting where he threw that one, I think that's more just lack of command as opposed to trying to get him to chase.
Omir Santos is next. Mets catchers have driven in 59 runs. It's tied with Atlanta for the most in the majors. Another big crowd tonight. Probably will be a sellout. Santos has 26 of those 59 runs batted in. Brian Schneider has 20. Ramon Castro had 13. He was traded.
A fair number of these fans are disappointed that Carlos Beltran's not playing because they like to come and boo him.
Yeah. He's not traveling with the Mets.
Folks have long memories. We're not going to let Carlos off the hook.
No. He has a real problematic bone bruise below his knee. Not expected back anytime soon. Late swing there by Santos. It's 1 ball, 1 strike, and Carlos Delgado, the slugging first baseman, had hip surgery. He's hopefully expected back in August, they're saying. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, might be back in a couple of weeks or so. He's trying to work his way back from a hamstring problem. The Mets are just kind of in a holding pattern right now, not expecting to make any major deals. It's 2-1 with Cora on deck. We saw that game coming up tomorrow night here on Fox Sports Houston. Corpus Christi and Frisco tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Corpus Christi beat Frisco last night 10-3. There's the injury list for the Mets. Billy Wagner, by the way, having a birthday today. He's 38. He is expected back.
Really, the kid is 38, huh?
Believe that, man. They're going on 2-1. There's a liner up the right field line, and now the Mets get Sullivan to third base. Razor Shines holding him there. It's going to be only a single for the catcher Santos. With the runner going, it's first and third, nobody out now.
Santos just staying on that ball and shooting it the other way. Little hit and run play perfectly executed by the Mets. Hunter able to hustle over there and cut that ball off, saving a run for now and keeping the double play in order.
Double play is what the Astros could use. They got 3 last night. They lead the National League with 107. It's Alex Cora batting. Cora grounded out to second. It's ball 1. Bud Norris pitched well last night, but lost for Round Rock, giving up 2 runs in 6 innings. Omaha beat Round Rock 4-0. Jeff Fulcino's warming up in the Astros bullpen. 2 balls, no strikes. There's the Billy Wagner birthday we mentioned. He was born in 1971, 38 years old.
And Doug Drabek celebrating a birthday today. Pedro getting ready to rejoin the Phillies in probably a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, if the Phillies trade for Roy Halladay, and there are reports that that trade is not going to happen now. They've got an influx of pitching talent coming in with Halladay and Pedro.
Well, it's ironic that Doug Drabek's on that list because Kyle Drabek is apparently the stumbling block in that deal. The Blue Jays want him, and the Phillies aren't willing to part ways with the talented youngster Kyle and their top prospects.
11 double plays for Ortiz. He's behind 2-0 here on Cora. Pitcher Nice on deck.
Kyle Drabek from the Woodlands, of course, where all the children are above average.
Kyle had Tommy John surgery, and he's bounced back very nicely this year.
Yeah, you're playing for the double play in the middle. Corners will have to read the situation, and you normally think double play, just clean up the inning and allow the run to score, but the pitcher on deck. If you're Russ, you're a little greedy. You're thinking about just trying to get out of this, maybe with no runs at all, and obviously really enhances his chances if he can get a punch out here from Cora.
He gave up 3 in the first on 3 hits. Now his second troublesome inning of the first 4. He's thrown 74 pitches. Bouncer, Tejada gets it to second, and then Matsui guns it to Coast. Double play with a run scoring to make it 4-1. And Cora bounces into a 6-4-3, so he will not get an RBI as Sullivan scores.
Luis Alicea begs to differ, and so does Jerry Manuel. Jerry Manuel is going to come out and have a chat with Tony Randazzo, the first base umpire. Here it is, 6-4-3. Man, awfully close there at first base. Miggy had to back up to get that high hop. Good turn by Kazuo. Flip a coin.
Cora jumping in the air after that out call. He loses an RBI on the out call by Tony Randazzo. 4-1 lead for the Mets. Now the pitcher Nice. Manuel 99 and 89 as the Mets skipper, taking over from Willie Randolph. Jerry, formerly the White Sox skipper. He said in one story, this kind of reminds him of being a coach with the Expos, with all the young players they brought to the major leagues when he was there. That's working in their younger players by necessity with all the injuries, taking much ballyhooed veterans.
announcements. To borrow from Broadway, since we're playing the Mets, it's kind of like you go to a Broadway show and they come out and the announcements say, so-and-so won't be performing, playing the role of Carlos Beltran tonight. Will be Angel Pagan.
Yeah. Keppinger feels the roller. And in the fourth inning, the Mets strike for another run on one hit. Nobody left. Mets 4, Astros 1. Tommy Agee with 26. Played a good center field, too. Oh, we'll talk about Tom Seaver tomorrow on Astros Live. Speaking of the 69 Mets, what a miraculous team that was.
Remember the movie Oh God with George Burns?
Yeah.
One of his lines in that movie tells John Denver or somebody, yeah, my last miracle was the 69 Mets.
Yeah. It just seemed to be a miracle. Carlos Lee with the Astros trailing 4-1. Tries to get something started against Jonathan Neese. He walked on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Looks at the curve for ball one. With the Cardinals losing, the Astros have a golden opportunity to move up if they can come from behind. Cubs have done that. Well, their victory, they're now 5 games over 500 at 50-45. 1 ball, 1 strike. That would be fun if the Astros went into Chicago in a tie with the Cubs.
Yeah, well, you know, Wrigley's going to be jam-packed. The atmosphere would be outstanding.
I know a lot of people from Houston love to visit that ballpark. But I was hearing tonight that some people from New York actually came down here for this series because they were unable to get tickets at Citi Field.
Wayne paid the price. Well, we come down here to Houston and enjoy some of our fine summer weather.
Yes, they do. It's a short summer in New York.
Come down here and get a little dose of 97 with 100% humidity.
They just can't get good barbecue in New York. Fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, but they come here and sit in air-conditioned comfort. And sample some of the fine restaurants around town. That's a good road trip.
Yes, it is. Well, the Astros won't go into Citi Field until the last 3 games of the season. In early October. But did you hear about that apple, that home run apple they have there?
No.
Well, you know, they moved it over from Shea Stadium. And the Met hits a homer. It lights up and lifts up higher. It jammed this year. They had a home run drought of 80 innings at home. And somebody finally hit one, and then one batter later they got another one, but the apple jammed toward the left center field gap, and Pagan comes in. He was playing very deep and slides and gets there for out number one.
Not the most direct route. Ultimately got the job done. Did the apple jam, or had it just fallen asleep due to lack of activity?
Maybe the latter.
Apple was just assuming there wouldn't be any action.
And the fans started cheering for the apple. I haven't had much to cheer about there. One out. Pudge Rodriguez singled in the Astros run in the first with a hit up the middle. Ball one with Hunter Pence on deck. Astros roared from behind last night with 12 hits, scoring their 5 runs.
As you know, the Astrodome, the scoreboard show there with the home run was iconic.
Yeah.
The Bull and the Cowboys and the whole deal.
That was a show.
So I'm just thinking, I'm looking out there at the train. Maybe we could put a mechanical bull up there on the tracks.
Yeah.
That could charge after home run.
Okay.
And one time the train goes, the next time the bull goes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a bull. Nice has given up just 2 singles so far. Castillo flags it down and right. 2 outs. And a couple of plays to his left. Our extraordinary play of the game is brought to you by Land Rover tonight. It's from last night's game. Hunter Pence throws out the potential tying run at the plate. Jeff Francoeur
Just does everything well there. Hunter charges that ball, gets you in good shape. Notice how he fielded that ball off to the side, set himself up to make the throw.
He's in the 7th inning. With the help of that play, Astros relievers worked 3 1/3 scoreless innings last night. Strike one to Hunter. Taps that one foul, and it's 0-2. Chris Costa on deck. Jeremy Sowers in Cleveland down Seattle in Seattle 10-3 today, beating Eric Bedard. Ryan Garco hit his 11th homer.
Nice stuff. Also remind you a little bit of the other left-hander, Oliver Perez. Just with much better command. Perez's control has been just awful. And he's got an ERA of 7.68.
They put him on the DL for a while. Big curveball gets a strikeout. That's number 3 for Nice. And Nice has retired 8 straight and leads it 4-1. by Dodge and by Southwest Airlines. And with a score of 4-1 Mets, let's go to Bart Ennis.
All right, Brownie, thanks a lot. It's time for our progressive fan of the game. We got a couple of guys out here in the Crawford boxes who have been visiting with Corey Sullivan and Carlos Leader in the game. You talked to Corey at all?
Yes, I am. And great job out there.
Nothing out of bounds, right?
Oh, no. Just I want him to concentrate on what he's doing. So.
And your name is?
Bruce.
Bruce, you're from Detroit.
I'm from Detroit. So.
You're a Tigers fan?
Big Tigers fan. And we just took our third one from the White Sox today.
So it's nice for you to come out here and help the Astros by distracting, shall we say, Corey Sullivan out here. Carlos hasn't been very talkative, but these guys are busy distracting Corey. And for that, for having the proper Crawford box etiquette, you are a progressive fan of the game. You got to set the standard out here for everybody else.
We are. We have been. So.
Good luck going back to Detroit.
Thank you very much.
Brownie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Bart. Pop-up by Pagan in foul ground, accounted for out number 1 for Russ Ortiz. Now there's strike 1 to Castillo. Castillo walked and scored in the first, grounded out in the third. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The Astros have managed only a couple of hits off Jonathan Neese, who's retired 8 in a row. Russ Ortiz gave up 3 in the first, 1 in the fourth. Now it's a 2-1 count to Castillo. Neese on the bench.
He's not even take his hat off between innings. Let's go back out and pitch.
Into a nice rhythm. That's bunted foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This Castillo shows bunt in just about every at bat. He's one of those guys who's just trying to steer the ball, looking around the infield, trying to find the holes, always contemplating a bunt. He would have been great in the dead ball era. There wasn't a lot of power. Got that old school approach.
Yeah, just don't strike out. It's a mantra of a lot of players. He pokes this one, diving play by Keppinger, thrown from his knees. Infield hit for Castillo. Good effort as he hit it sharply. And Keppinger did the best he could, but Castillo has a single.
Now Castillo likes the ball up, and he gets his fastball up and out away a little bit. Shoots it the other way. Nice play by Keppinger, but Castillo has had some injury problems over the years, but still runs pretty well.
Now the speedy Castillo aboard. David Wright, the batter. Wright has struck out and walked.
Russ trying to find his way in this game tonight. 86 pitches now as he works here in the 5th inning. Only had one 1-2-3 inning. That came in the second. And they had the 8-hole hitter core leading off 8, 9, and 1. They went 1-2-3 base runners in every other inning as you look at the pitch count. Tim Burdack is starting position in the Astros pen now.
Pitcher spot is due up 3rd in the bottom of the 5th. Let's put a lot on that pickoff throw on Castillo, who has 11 steals and 15 tries. As you see Burdack warming. A lot of room in right center for David Wright. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers got a walk-off hit from Carlos Guillen in the 10th, an RBI single to beat the White Sox 4-3. White Sox got that perfect game when they were swept in a doubleheader and lost again today.
Gives the Tigers a 3-game lead over the Sox in the American League Central. Twins are 4 games back. They're out on the coast playing the Angels.
They had a rough time in Oakland. Twins gave up tons of runs in that series.
2-1. Good running count. See if Jerry Manuel turns Castillo loose here.
Ortiz glancing over his shoulder. And right cranks it foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Washington got 2 in the first. Leads San Diego 2-0 in the middle of the second. Now there's a rain delay. And Zimmerman with his 18th home run.
Rain delay in Washington? Yeah, they've had a bunch of rain.
They sure have.
Not that anything else is going wrong for the club this year. 28 and 68. They're just barely ahead of the pace of the 62 Mets.
They're catching some flack for not signing their #1 draft choice so far, but they say there are a lot of back channel negotiations that people don't know about. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The signing deadlines around mid-August.
Yeah, August 15th, I believe.
Luis Alicea, the coach at first, helping Castillo with his lead.
Good back.
Gary Ritas, as we mentioned, in town. He's the Astros outfield and base running instructor for the minor league system, and he occasionally drops by to check up on a major league club for 2-3 days. He'll be headed out making a tour of the minor league clubs other than the Lancaster team, he said. Runner going. Fly ball outside the right field line. Hunter Pence over for this, but he won't have room. And we were talking about an interesting article in Sports Illustrated about base running this week and just how the Astros teach it in their system. And as we talk more, we got around to discussing some of the Astros top prospects, and he is among those. Tal Smith and others who have seen that Lancaster club, that trio of outfielders getting rave reviews for their work for the Lancaster Jethawks this year. Jonathan Gaston, Jack Shuck, and T.J. Steele are the 3 outfielders. Runner going, and it's foul back.
What do they do, Brady?
Well,
Power guys?
They were all drafted last year in 08, and they're different sorts. He likes T.J. Steele. T.J. Steele is from the University of Arizona. We haven't seen him, but he's 6'3", 215. Great body for baseball. 4th round pick last year. He went to the University of Arizona. Hitting .345. 5 homers, 38 runs batted in. Good defensive player. Has all the tools, Gary Ritas says. Runner going again. Foul back. And then Jack Shuck is a little 5'11", 185 outfielder from Ohio State. He was a 6th round pick in 08. He's the speed merchant with 17 steals this year. Jonathan Gaston was a 7th round pick from the University of Arizona also last year. He's listed at 6 feet 210. He's hitting .305, 27 homers, 74 runs batted in. So we lead the minors, we understand, in those departments. They're going, and it's foul back.
Good lengthy at bat here by David. Those are big numbers. It's a great hitter's park there in Lancaster, but nonetheless, those numbers really jump out at you.
His OPS, on base plus slugging percentage, totals 1,064.
Let's get that kid to the big leagues now.
Well, it wouldn't be surprising if all 3 of those outfielders at Lancaster jump up to Corpus Christi next year.
They better not. Better not be. Get him there.
There goes again, and that's a foul ball. It's been big trouble for the Astros.
He's got a college player. Put up those kind of years in A-ball. We don't want him going back to A-ball.
All right. But it would be interesting if you bring them along as a group, and then they play AAA the next year. Things go well. Maybe in a couple of years, who knows? The 11th pitch of this at bat is coming. That's Mike Winters, the umpire at third.
Right, battling. He punched down the first. He pulled off a breaking ball. It was a bit of a hanger, and he took a big aggressive swing at it. This at bat, he's doing a much better job trying to stay through the ball, waiting a little bit longer.
That's ball 4. So Wright really worked it.
And that's what happens when you're patient like that and you fight off a bunch of pitches. You put the pitcher in a situation where he feels like he has to make the perfect pitch, and you tend to overthrow it.
Now Cecil Cooper's on his way out after the 4th walk of the night for Ortiz. Ortiz had 96 pitches. 2 on, 1 out for Murphy, the lefty hitter. He might want Burdack at this point, and he does. So for Ortiz, a night in which he's allowed 4 runs on 5 hits, and the Pontiac starting line will show you that. 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs so far, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The 2 runners are his responsibility. Get the Pontiac you want before they're gone. Tim Burdack coming in, back in a moment. Verizon Wireless call to the bullpen brings in veteran lefty Tim Burdack, who went to Rice University. He's coming in with Castillo at second, Wright at first to face Murphy. Murphy with an RBI double and a fly ball to right.
Tim working for the 41st time this year. Part of that bullpen that has been quite good of late. He's been tough to hit. Just a 197 batting average against him. He struck out 28, walked 19. Murphy, left-handed batter, hitting .238 against southpaws.
Jeff Francoeur on deck. Burdack turns back towards second. And he wants Pudge to come out. Burdack Wednesday night against the Cardinals got 2 outs in that game. Didn't give up a hit or a run. Came in with the Astros trailing 3-2 in the 8th inning, and then they turned around and won it 4-3. He's had 5 straight scoreless outings now. Pitched 38 games before the All-Star break for a personal high.
Tim, a little El Tiante there. Look back to second as he's delivering that pitch.
Yeah.
This little El Tiante here. Little whoop.
Fly ball, Michael Bourne and Hunter Pence. Michael gets there. 2 outs. You know what El Tiante did? I thought really tough for the hitters. He snapped that neck. And they just think they were getting a lot of velocity from him. And they told him to change him.
Quick body and then just kind of.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I think. You know, pitchers nowadays. And probably some not come to mind though, but I think that's an underused part of the equation there. It's funky delivery, do something different. So through the years back, you know, Dave LaRoche used to throw the lob, the deepest pitch. A handful of those guys over the years.
That was fun.
A quick pitch or doing something a little bit quirky with your delivery to try to shake things up, especially the guys whose stuff is just a little bit short.
Yes. Lefties 236, right-handers 161 against Burdak.
And you remember early in the year, his inability to get lefties out was a bit of an issue. And so, wait a minute, that's Tim's job. Early on, he really struggled, but not so much lately by getting Murphy. And now lefties are just 2 for their last 23 against him. That's a batting average below 100. So he certainly has turned the corner there.
Two 2-0 to Frank Core. There's a sac fly and a strikeout. Now a strike. A big situation here. The Astros trailing by 3. Burdak can get Frank Core. Choke off the Mets here in the 5th inning. The Astros come up and they'll be looking to pinch hit for him, probably due up 3rd in the bottom half.
It's still a very winnable game, even though Nice is pitching quite well. You still feel like you got a real good shot here in your own ballpark, the way the Astros have been playing. This Frank Core can change all that. And he's in a situation that he thrives on. 3 ball, 1 strike, sits dead red. It's a guy that will expand the zone, but if you have to come into him, he can make you pay.
A drive to left field will go a long way, and he did. Made him pay with a 3-run homer. It's 7-1, and that is a big turning point in this game. Frank Core belting number 7. That gives him a 4 RBI night. 47 runs batted in for the season.
The whole key against a guy like Frank Core is don't put yourself in a position where you have to give in to him. And runners out first and second. Tim didn't want to get too cute and end up walking him. But if he had to do it all over again, he may have decided not to challenge Frank Core there. Wow, what a swing. Dead red, got a fastball up, out over the plate.
Corey Sullivan looks at ball 1. Well, Frank Core had walked. Sullivan would have come up with the bases loaded, and it would be lefty on lefty. Sullivan has an RBI single and a walk tonight.
And that's what, we saw that from Roger Clemens. So many of the great pitchers over the years, just absolutely no concerns about walking somebody. Even if it was walking a run in, they did not want to give in to a dangerous hitter.
That certainly affects Russell Ortiz's pitching line in a negative way. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 earned runs now. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts.
And 3 of the 4 walks he issued ended up scoring runs for the Mets.
Sullivan's down on strikes. The Mets come up with 3 on 2 hits. Frank Core plays long ball. The team that's last in the league in hitting home runs. 7-1 Mets.
fifth coming up, and it's time for the batting stance guy. Whose swing is he imitating here? Log on to Fox Sports Houston's Twitter page and make your guess. Find out the answer on Astros Live after the game. Who is batting stance guy?
Not Derek Bell, was it? Well, we'll find out.
Somebody from one of these two ball clubs.
Currently? Current roster? Oh, okay. Chris Coast leads it off. 8 straight have been retired by Jonathan Neese. That's ball one. Coast single to left field in the second inning. One of only 2 hits. The other RBI single by Pudge Rodriguez. Just fouling it back. Goes to a 1-1 count. Jonathan Neese now has been given a lot of run support. Shooting for win number 2 in the majors. Flair caught by Murphy.
Yeah. Well, we knew we were facing one tough lefty in this series. And Santana had no idea this kid was going to be this good, but he's really talented. There's a souvenir for him. Deadwood.
Ugly looking stuff.
Deadwood, the series continues.
Really sawed that one off. They're still studying broken bats.
You know, I haven't heard much about the broken bat, and it seems like the frequency has diminished a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe got some better wood.
Jeff Cappinger looks at ball one.
Maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
Oh, you've been paying attention.
This kid, talked about him being from the same high school as Chad Billingsley, Defiance, Ohio. It's not a real big town. There's something going on there with their baseball program when it turn out a couple talented kids like that.
Yes.
His senior year, 12-0. This is just absurd. 0.12 earned run average. Allowed 1 run, 76 innings.
Right fielder makes that play. Frank Core, 2 outs.
Struck out 144 in 76 innings. State Player of the Year back-to-back. The only time it's ever happened.
Sounds like Josh Beckett numbers.
Wow. Through August 23rd, kids are free here at Minute Maid Park. For every full-price adult ticket you purchase in the View Deck or Mezzanine, you'll get 2 free tickets in the same price level for kids 14 years of age and under. What a sweetheart of a deal. And we still have just about a month to cash in on it.
Matt Cate is the pinch hitter now. Lining one into right center field with Big Chad Toronto warming up the bullpen. He delivers a pinch single. Batting to Tim Burdack. Cate coming through with hit number 3 for the Astros.
Yeah, wasting no time, coming off the bench, ready to swing it. Got a pitch up. Plops it into right center.
4 for 15 pinch hitting. Michael Bourne bats. He walked and he bounced out. Strike one. Tim Burdack, he had 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, 1 run with no walks, 1 strikeout. And Toronto's warming up. Astros would love to peck away here. Matsui on deck. Neese missing there, goes to a 1-1 count. Neese walked 2 and gave up the RBI single in the first inning to Pudge. And in the second, he got a double play ball. Has been coasting since then. It's 1 and 2. The Mets have not been supporting their pitchers like this very often this year. They're 13th in runs scored. But then again, they're 10th in ERA. They've been outscored by 51 runs coming into this game. Little tap. Foul ball. Jerry Lane also took his time on that one. And the Astros are glad to hear that foul call. Well, no, they're not. They would have wanted a fair call, wouldn't they? But Jerry wanted to make sure that ball was touched when it was foul. Let's see.
I think they got him, didn't they?
Let's see.
Clearly foul.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. They would have thrown him out.
Yeah.
Let the record show that we are happy with that call.
1-2 to Michael. And this bouncer goes to second. Castillo tossing to first. In the fifth, no runs, a hit, and a man left after 5. 7-1 Mets. On the talent he wishes he had.
Be able to play the guitar well. I have a guitar. I can play a couple notes, but to be able to play it well, I think that'd be real sweet.
Chad Paranto comes in. This will be his second appearance with the Astros this season. The first one Tuesday night against St. Louis. He is 6-12 with a 4.22 ERA in his major league career.
And Chad recently recalled from AAA, was working as the closer there and doing a whale of a job. Came in here the other night, a game against the Cardinals, and got touched up, allowed 3 hits, 4 runs in a third of an inning. So looking to get things headed in the right direction tonight.
Omir Santos first up against him. Santos 1 for 2 in this game.
The Astros' bullpen ERA of 3.99 is 13th best in the National League. Well, that's not very good. It's really basically right at league average. A whole bunch of teams clustered all together there. Very similar numbers. A fairly significant drop off after you get past the Astros. The Rockies about a run higher, and Arizona and Washington struggling.
2 balls, no strikes. To left field, Carlos Lee had it back, but they're getting up. It's into the Landry's Crawford boxes. Santos hits his second homer in this series. It's his 5th hit of the series so far. Homer number 6. 27 runs batted in for Santos. The Mets lead at 8-1.
Chad likes to sink his fastball. Two-seamer has pretty good movement when it's down, but when it's up, it's pretty get-toable, and that one was up above the belt. And these Mets love hitting here as opposed to Citi Field.
Alex Cora will be next. Cora's 0 for 2. Frank Cora hit his 7th in the 5th inning, and now Santos number 6 in the 6th inning. Cora takes a strike. The Mets had hit 54 homers in their first 96 games coming into this one tonight. Dead last in the league. Dropped 2 bombs on the Astros in this game. Back-to-back innings. 1 ball, 1 strike. They'd only hit 26 homers on the road before tonight. In 50 road games. It's a 2-1 count with Nice on deck. Red Sox 5, Orioles 2. They're in the top of the 7th at Fenway with John Lester pitching. David Ortiz hit a 3-run shot, number 13 for Big Papi. Foul back, and it's 2-2. Adam LaRoche playing first base tonight for Boston. Chris Duncan went to AAA, Pawtucket for them after the trade for Julio Lugo. Red Sox picking up something like $13 million this year and next on Lugo's contract. They were pretty anxious to get him out of there. Hit to left center field. Carlos Lee over. 1 out.
Anytime an Astro player hits one of the Chick-fil-A foul poles here at Minute Maid Park, fans from the game can take their ticket stub to any greater Houston area Chick-fil-A and redeem it for a free Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
Hunter Pence hit that sign in left field during batting practice tonight. There was a big clang. You could hear it anywhere in the ballpark. Jonathan Nice has struck out and grounded out, and then a few minutes later he hit the sit-go sign in left center field with another batting practice shot. There are all kinds of noises after Hunter did his damage. It sounded like he was trying to tear down the ballpark tonight in BP.
Pretty much does that every night in BP, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Huffing
does.
and puffing.
He puts on a show.
Swinging as hard as possible.
1-1 for Chad Peranto from New Hampshire.
That's the one right there. Down around the knees. Real good running action on it.
Chad with 15 saves for Round Rock this year. Just turned, well, he turns 34 in 3 more days. Flaring out that glove so the hitter won't know if he's about to throw a changeup because he does it on every pitch. He's from Woodsville, New Hampshire. Any idea where that is, JD?
Somewhere in New Hampshire, Brownie, I'm going to go with.
Good. That pinpoints it. It's a small state.
Small state, yeah. It's probably not far from Manchester.
He was in 6 games for the Astros last year. Kostin Matsui on the right side of the field there. Gets a strikeout on these.
Bob Tewksbury was from New Hampshire.
Oh, that's right.
Fine major league pitcher.
Oh, he did have some good years. What a changeup.
Great control. Last I knew, Tewksbury was working for the Red Sox. He's kind of a minor league mental coach.
Really?
Teaching them the mental side of the game. Yeah,
That's interesting.
I think he went out and got a degree in sports psychology or psychology.
Okay. Angel Pagan opened the game with a single, and he came around on a double by Murphy. He's 1 for 3. Veteran player has bounced around quite a bit. There's ball 1. The Mets have the highest payroll in the National League. So it's not thought that they would be taking on much more salary in any kind of a trade. They have so many players who are injured right now. It would be tough to part with anybody off their current roster who's important to them anyway.
No, to me, if I'm Manaya or ownership there, whoever's going to make the decision, I'd be more inclined to sell high-priced talent for prospects at this stage of the game than take on any more salary with the idea of trying to get better this year. It just seems like they're too banged up and too far back to make a significant move. Now, if all these guys were coming back in the next week or 10 days or so, you might think, well, let's go for it.
Carlos Lee backing in left field, looks up at the scoreboard wall. It kicks back toward third base off that wall. And here is a big turn at second base and a double for Pagan. His 5th double of the year. He's 2 for 4 tonight.
He got it started back in the first. That little bloop single to left, came around and scored the Mets' first run. Good inside out swing. Carlos so adept at playing the wall, but they're always at the mercy of the carom out there. Took a funky hop on him.
2-out double puts him at second for Castillo now. Castillo has a single and a walk. He's scored twice. Liner over shortstop. That'll make it 9-1. As it goes into left center field, RBI single Castillo, and he has been a pest. He was on base 4 times last night. This is number 3 tonight. That's his 22nd run batted in.
Chad's second outing since joining the club, and second rough one. Not easy to come into these games when they're lopsided and the other club's having good at bats and feeling good about things. But the only way you change that is with your performance, and then you get some opportunities to pitch in a more meaningful role. So far 0 for 2 for Chad.
David Wright has walked twice after striking out. That's strike 1. Chris Sampson could be activated as early as tomorrow from the disabled list. He threw a simulated game before batting practice last night. It's a 1-1 count. Brian Moeller goes tomorrow against Livan Hernandez. Monday night in Chicago, it's Wandy Rodriguez and Carlos Zambrano.
Little lefty and the big righty.
That should be a great matchup. 2-1. Ryan Dempster is supposed to return from his broken toe and pitch Tuesday night against Roy Oswalt.
Might decide that toe injury is lingering a little bit to avoid that one. The way Roy's been going.
Wednesday, a 120 start for Mike Hampton and Randy Wells. Thursday, Russ Ortiz and Kevin Hart at 120. 2 night games, 2 day games in Chicago. 3 balls and a strike. The Royals lead the Rangers in Kansas City 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. New coach Haver has struck out 11 Rangers in 6 innings.
If you're just joining us and you see that 9-1 score, fear not. Remember what the A's did to the Twins a few days ago.
Made up a 10-run deficit. Crack bat. Tejada hurries in. Goes low, and Coast is there for the 3rd out. The Mets tack on 2 in the 6th inning on 3 hits. They leave a man. 9-1 Mets. Inning. Caswell has struck out and hit a fly ball to center. Line drive left field, headed for the big wall, and it bangs off the top of that wall. He's going to be held to a long single, An excellent play by Corey Sullivan. Hit it too hard to get a double.
And he went down and got a pretty good pitch, a breaking pitch. He probably went up there thinking, okay, 9-1 ball game. Probably going to see some fastballs now from Nice, and Nice throws an off-speed pitch, and Caswell able to make the adjustment and hit it hard.
Check out that throw from Sullivan, former pitcher at Wake Forest. Short throw from left field. He played it very well. Miguel Tejada has rolled out twice. Looking at ball one. 4 hits for the Astros, all of them singles. Tejada's a .234 lifetime hitter against the Mets coming into this game. Carlos Lee on deck. It's 2-0 for Jonathan Nice, who's at 84 pitches for the night. He's pitching on 1 week's rest, 6 days rest since his last minor league start. He shut out Toledo on that one. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. Mud Hens could do nothing with Jonathan Nice a week ago. Through 87 pitches.
Much to the chagrin of Corporal Klinger.
2-1. It's one of the great minor league nicknames. There are a lot of them. Bouncer third, backhanded right. He goes to second. Castillo snatches it. That's slipped by the second baseman. Wright's given him a couple of tough throws tonight. That's a double play, number 2 of the night. It's the Coors Light 6th inning. We'll check out the Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze cam. There's Tejada getting it to Matsui, and on the first freeze, that close call on Alex Cora's double play ball.
Well, Airbound arguing that call, and I think he had a legitimate case there.
Ball 1 to Carlos Lee.
Airbound, airborne.
2 balls, no strikes.
Airbound.
Hopefully we'll be airbound tomorrow night after that game. Headed for Chicago. It's 3-0.
Hit a home run, Carlos, would you please? Just for fun.
John made a good play on him his last time up. 3 balls, 1 strike. Just looking at the recent pitching log of Jonathan Nice, he also had a shutout at Rochester. David Wright. Good glove work, and in the 6th inning it goes quickly thanks to the double play ball. Wright is the man who started that and then took care of that play. 9-1 Mets. Chevrolet by Geico and by Reliant Energy. Halliburton Plaza, the statues of Biggio and Bagwell inside. It's 9-1. The Mets leading. They come up in the 7th inning. Daniel Murphy had an RBI double in the first. He's 1 for 3. Chad Paronto begins the 7th. Fly ball, and Carlos Lee chases it back into left center field. That one bangs off the wall and drops down for another double for Murphy, his 2nd of the night. 15th of the year. Our power play is brought to you by Reliant Energy. Here's a 3-run homer from Jeff Francoeur.
We got a 3-1 fastball to his liking. In the happy zone. Mid-thigh, out over the plate. Turned a very is not the right word, but it's certainly a winnable game, a 4-1 ball game to a 7-1 game. Astros really need a big time rally now. They've been able to extend it. The Mets have to 9-1, and you start thinking about tomorrow.
Francoeur fouls it.
And with that in mind, I would expect, or I think that maybe Coop would want to get Jason Michaels or maybe somebody else on that bench in that bat.
It's a good thought. The Mets have out-hit the Astros 10-4 in this game.
Edwin Masonette with him and AB.
He just returned from Round Rock. Getting pretty good reports on Tommy Manzella at shortstop for the Round Rock Express this year. Deep drive to left field. Carlos Lee at the base of the wall has it. And Murphy went back late to tag at second. 1 out.
Francoeur was a bit for a 2nd home run, went down and got a sinker, lifted it, but didn't get quite enough of it.
Corey Sullivan has driven in a run and scored 1 tonight. Corey turns 30 in August, 7th round pick of the Rockies in 01. And there's strike 1. Speaking of the Rockies, they're playing the Giants tonight. It's 0-0 after 3.5 at Coors Field. Both those teams right in the wild card race. No balls, 2 strikes. They're in the division race for that matter with the amount of time remaining this season, but the Dodgers are looking very strong. And here's Santos on deck for Chad Paronto. Oakland A's ended the Yankees' 8-game winning streak. 6-4 at Yankee Stadium. Oakland winning today.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to think that the Dodgers could give up that 9-game lead. Have too much firepower, too much balance, good pitching, good hitting. I guess if they got hit by a rash of injuries.
2-2. Coming up on the trade deadline here in less than a week. There you see the Dodgers with their 9-game lead over Colorado and San Francisco.
I like the Padres' chances
to finish last.
They're having a real high draft pick next June.
Okay. Yeah, they're well, there have been rumors that they're even agreeable to shopping their first baseman, Adrian Gonzalez.
Red Sox are interested apparently.
Red Sox just got Adam LaRoche.
Time to back up the truck.
Matsui over to Coast. Murphy to third, 2 outs. What's on tap with the Astros comes to you courtesy of Bud Light, showing you tomorrow. Livan Hernandez and Brian Moeller. Brian 3-1 in July with a 2.16 ERA.
So the Astros pinning their hopes on Brian tomorrow, and why not? The way he's pitched lately, good shot at winning 2 out of 3 in this series. The game you were most concerned with was last night with Santana starting for the Mets, but they got that one. Looks like we're heading to a rubber game tomorrow afternoon.
Santos has a homer and a single tonight and 3 at-bats.
And also tomorrow, Ricky Henderson, Jim Rice inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
So old-timer Joe Gordon.
But it's going to be really interesting to hear what Ricky has to say.
Oh, yeah.
He's always got interesting things.
Ricky loves talking about Ricky.
This is Ricky being Ricky?
Yeah.
It was Ricky being Ricky long before Manny was being Manny.
Yeah. That speech could go on for a while. And Tony Kubek is going in this year to the broadcaster's wing. Is that correct?
I believe so.
1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, he was a good broadcaster.
Well, when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of games on cable. It was Garagiola and Kubek doing the game of the week on NBC.
Yes.
It was appointment viewing.
It was.
Get out, do a little, mow the lawn, or go play a little league game or whatever you had going on, and come back in to check in.
That's a good point. We reserved that time block because that was the only time block all week when we could watch a baseball game.
Yeah, there wasn't games on every night.
You arranged your Saturday around that. Foul back.
And that's what the game of the week amongst the players had the nickname the game of the world. And even when I was playing, when games were on cable and local television all the time, whenever you were on the game of the week, I would still play, hey, we're the game of the world this week.
Yeah. Fly ball, hanging to left center field. Tejada looks out to Michael Bourne. Carlos Lee's there. Michael has it. Leadoff double. Murphy stranded at third. 9-1 Mets. Now Francoeur with a sac fly, a 3-run homer, a big 4 RBI game for the Mets. Ortiz 4 to third, 6 runs allowed for the Astros. Here's Santos hit his second home run of the series. That came in the 6th inning. Castillo with 2 hits, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 3 runs for Luis in the series. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. And the score is 9-1. The Mets about hit the Astros 10-4. Fans up for the 7th inning stretch. 43,002 paid attendance tonight. Another sellout. 2nd in a row and 3rd of the season.
Home team is getting fun, but the fans still having some fun, tapping their toes. That's what winning baseball will do. It buys you a little family. A nice roll, yeah. Take one on the chin every now and then, and I'm going to get too worked up about it.
Rodriguez 1 for 2 in RBI. There's strike 1 to him.
just a baseball game.
Mets are celebrating their 40th anniversary of the Amazons back in '69. They'll have that going on when they get back in August. They have an event for Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, Jerry Kuzman. More than 20 of their former teammates will be in to celebrate that in August. Up the middle, shortstop is right there though. Alex Cora takes care of it. 1 out for Jonathan Neese.
Well, folks, you voted for the top moment in Minute Maid Park. It's Craig Biggio's 3,000th hit. And this moment will be celebrated before the game on Monday, August 3rd against the Giants. First 10,000 fans will receive a Biggio 3,000th career hit DVD courtesy of FS Houston and the Astros. That's Monday, August 3rd with the Giants in town.
Giants, that'll be a game with wild card implications.
Who knows? You might see Tim Lincecum. You might see Matt Cain. You might see Jonathan Sanchez.
Wow, you're talking about some real luminaries there. No balls, 2 strikes. Lincecum and Cain, the top 1-2 punches in baseball right now. Sanchez coming off a no-hitter. Hunter Pence 0-2.
The best 1-2 punch in baseball over the last month or so. Right here in Houston with Wandy and Roy.
Yeah. And they will be ready to do their punching Monday, Tuesday nights against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field.
And they will both work the weekend in St. Louis as well.
Little tap is foul ball. Still no balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Pence.
Santos probably should have let that ball go.
Yeah.
He jumped on it thinking he was keeping it fair, but had he waited, maybe it would have trickled fair and had a play.
Could have. So the National League Central race comes right to your living room next week. Chicago and St. Louis. 1-2. Those are big games. Everybody looks at those games and feels that way about them, but tonight's game, tomorrow's game counts for the same. It just has a different feel to it when you go to Wrigley Field in St. Louis with all that would be on the line for these 2 clubs.
Well, you know, when you play within the division, you know, obviously you have a chance to gain ground. When you're playing outside the division, you could win but only keep pace if your chief rivals are also winning. So there's a difference there, but you're not too concerned at this stage of the season of who your opponent is. You're just trying to win games.
Just nothing like September when the race is close and everybody's watching scoreboards. There's head-to-head play. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
This is a game where after the game you walk into the clubhouse, you crank up the music, you turn on the TV.
That ball was belted into Cora's glove. A line drive from Hunter Pence.
Yeah, he's being tested right now. You know, he had that great run up to the All-Star break and made the All-Star team. Actually, just prior to the break, he started to go south. He's not had much success lately. Now he hits one right on the button, and it's an out. Well, this game will test you. He goes from that highest of highs, making his first All-Star team, to being in a pretty good funk here. Got to battle your way through it.
Chris Coast is 1 for 2. No strike one. All right, so after that little chat, we're looking at the September schedule for the Astros at home. They play Philadelphia, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Cincinnati. Little roller out to shortstop. A whole lot of heated divisional rival games in September. And after 7, it is 9-1 Mets.
Football is about to change, introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with more customizable features and new ways to play. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football. You'll be glad you did.
Wesley Wright comes in. He's 2-1 with a 5.49 ERA.
Next, come in, knock off the rust, get a little work. ERA is high, but the other numbers are pretty good. Strikeout to walk ratio 3-1.
There's ball one to Cora. Cora 0 for 3. Humberto Quintero also has entered the game. He's doing the catching now. He's in the 9th spot in the order. Line drive left field. Carlos Lee down because it's lights for him. Went down on a knee. One out for Wesley Wright. He gave up a home run Tuesday night to Mark DeRosa of St. Louis.
Line drive. The humpback liner is the one that really troublesome for the left fielder here.
Fernando Tatis is the pinch hitter for Jonathan Neese. Sean Green working in the bullpen. There's ball one. Neese in 7 innings allowed 4 hits, 1 run. He walked 2. Both of those came in the first inning, and struck out 3. He started last night, gets a breaking ball there, and it's 1-1. And he went 1 for 5 as the left fielder in last night's game. He's threw 106 pitches, 70 of them strikes tonight.
Impressive young pitcher, just 22 years of age. Looked awfully sharp here tonight.
1-2 for Wesley. Tatis has made himself very versatile, playing several positions the last few years. He used to be a third baseman primarily. Wesley throws it by him and strikes him out. 2 down quickly. Strikeout number 6 for Houston pitchers tonight.
93-mile-an-hour heater off the outside corner. Tatis trying to hit it about 6 miles. Coming up empty.
Angel Pagan is 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored as the Mets leadoff man tonight. Tampa Bay knocked off Toronto in Toronto 10-9 in 12 innings. Strike 1. Jason Bartlett, an RBI double in the 12th. And that capped the biggest comeback in Tampa Bay history. They trailed by 8.
Must be that time of the year.
Must be. Down 8-0 after 4 innings.
Boy, talk about spitting the hook. Who started, gave up 8, but that's a nice no decision right there.
Let's check. David Price gave up 6 in 3 innings. He has struggled recently. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Brewers are getting shut out pitching from Giovanni Gallardo. 2-0. The Brewers lead the Braves. In the 8th inning in Milwaukee.
Brewers are 2 behind the Astros. Line drive, Hunter Pence in right. In the 8th inning, Wesley Wright gets the Mets in order. It's 9-1 New York. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Right-hander Sean Green comes out of the bullpen for the Mets. He is 1-2 with a 5.23 ERA. He's working the bottom of the eighth.
He's a sinker baller, big tall guy, 6'6", about 230. From the University of Louisville. Sidearm slinging sinker.
Strike one to Keppinger, who's 0 for 2. Green was with Seattle last year, came in a 3-team trade to the Mets, along with J.J. Putz and Jeremy Reed, an outfielder. Aaron Heilman went the other way in that deal as the Mets reconfigured their bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike. They knew they would not have Billy Wagner this year, at least until the end of the year, so they signed free agent closer Francisco Rodriguez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They brought in Green to help set up things for him. Alberto Quintero is on deck, and Michael Bourne's due up 3rd in the inning. It's 2-2. Florida and the Dodgers have a late start tonight. Rick Vandenhurst going for Florida against Hiroki Kuroda of Los Angeles. Green gets a strikeout, out number 1.
And watch the action on that sinker. Just dive bombing. You don't miss it, you're just going to beat it into the ground.
Right-handed hitters hit .233 against them last year in the American League. Humberto Quintero gets his first plate appearance of the night, hitting .230, 1 homer, 10 runs batted in. He came out for early work, doing some throwing at second base today before batting practice. Bouncer to shortstop, Cora charging. 2 outs. Will now be Michael Bourne. Jason Castro has been promoted, as you know, to Double-A Corpus Christi recently. Has been selected to be one of the 2 catchers to represent the United States in the IBAF World Cup. As a member of the USA roster, he'll be reporting to Cary, North Carolina on September 1st. And then he'll go to the Czech Republic September 6th. Astros first-round pick in 2008, Jason Castro. Michael Bourne, 0 for 2 with a walk, has scored a run. There's strike 1.
You're playing baseball in the Czech Republic?
Apparently so.
Wow.
It's a good sign. He's hitting .295 at Double-A with 2 homers, 13 runs batted in 29 games. He was promoted June 10th to Corpus. And he had a 3-run homer in the Major League Baseball All-Star Futures game in St. Louis. And also threw out a runner for Team USA. One ball, 1 strike. Things pretty quiet up there on the railroad tracks.
Yeah, a fair number of the fans have gone home. They retreated from their seats anyway. Maybe back having a beverage, socializing a little bit.
Well, we find that on Saturday nights. People are used to staying out a little bit later. So the games start early. 6:05 Houston time. Folks are usually not in any big rush to leave afterwards. Does that 5-7 Cafe Grill stay open for a few minutes after the game? I believe half an hour or so anyway. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 5-7 Patio is the proper name for it. It's 3-2. Oh yeah, they'll be open for a little while after the game. That San Diego Washington game has been in a delay after an inning and a half for hours now. Yeah, business is booming out there at 5-7. Poked on a line into left field. Bourne will take the turn and hold on with an opposite field single. He's on for the second time tonight.
Reminiscent of Castillo's approach. Get out on that front foot, keep the hands back, just slap it the other way.
In number 5 for the Astros, they've all been singles. Matsui got one of those in the 6th inning. He singled to left. Tejada's on deck. Matsui, he's 200 as a left-handed batter. Nope, it's the wrong guy. Hitting 235 as a left-handed batter. Ball 1. 315 right-handed for Matsui coming into this game tonight. Strike makes it 1-1. Matsui came from Japan to join the New York Mets. And he's closing in on 2,000 career hits in both Japan and the United States combined for his professional baseball career. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He hit a lot of home runs in Japan.
Did he?
Yeah. Smaller ballparks. Pitching not quite as good.
He's only 17 hits shy of 2,000 for his professional career in Japan and the United States. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's played very well defensively this year. Still 2-2 for Kazuo Matsui. He's gone 41 games without an error now at second base. He's 3rd in fielding percentage, but it's hard to really quantify defensive play that way. The roller goes foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You see in 2002 for Cebu, he hit 36 home runs.
Wow.
33 the next year. That was his last year in Japan. He had a couple other years where he was 20 plus.
Those are big home run years. Castillo to first. In the 8th inning, it's no runs ahead and a man stranded. Moving to the 9th, 9-1 Mets. By the Ford F-150, by the Progressive Insurance Group, and by Bud Light Lime. We have changes for the Astros, and Jason Michaels is one of those. He's the new left fielder, replacing Carlos Lee, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. Edwin Masonette takes over a chug stop from Miguel Tejada. He was 0 for 3. And it's 9-1 Mets. They've out-hit the Astros 10-5. Wesley Wright had a 1-2-3 8th inning. Luis Castillo turns around about right-handed, and he has had quite a night. 2 hits, a walk, 2 runs scored, an RBI for Castillo. Castillo takes strike one.
And Mets set the tone early when they put that 3 spot on the board in the top of the first. Kid Nice was very good. Here's another one.
Hunter Pence catches that liner.
If you're traveling and can't watch your Astros, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. The ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. And you can catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Astros.com, where baseball is always on.
David Wright's 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. Rockies lead the Giants 3-1 in Colorado, top of the 6th inning. Jorge De La Rosa pitching for Colorado against Jonathan Sanchez. Troy Tulowitzki hit his 18th home run. That was a 3-run shot off Sanchez to center field.
He's having a nice bounce back here.
He really is. And the Rockies are now 9 games over 500. A pretty favorable position to make a strong run at the wild card.
Talk about bounce back.
It's a big bounce back here from where they were. And usually managerial changes do not take that quickly. That's cranked to left center field. David Wright has drilled one a long way. Bangs it off the wall for a home run. Only his 3rd of the year on the road. Number 6 overall for David Wright. That makes it 10-1 Mets. 46th run batted in for Wright.
Well, I'm curious to know whether that would be a home run in his new ballpark.
Yeah.
I've heard players come out of there saying they hit their best bolts and it stayed in the yard. I mean, obviously the power is still there. He juiced this ball. I guess I shouldn't say juice. That's just a toxic word these days.
Well, it's Minute Maid Park.
He really hit that ball hard.
Keppinger into foul ground for this one. Snags it for out number 2. A 3-home run game for the New York Mets. And Warren, the pitching coach, with a big smile for David Wright. They probably haven't had many 3-home run games this year.
They haven't many 3-home run weeks.
They've only hit 57 long balls all season.
Didn't they have like a 90-inning homerless drought or something like that?
They did. Now Jeff Francoeur, he cranked a 3-run shot. Ball 1 to him.
That apple's probably back at Shea or at Citi Field going up and down right now. Nobody's there to see it. It's probably just up and down like crazy.
Let's see. This is actually the 4th time they've hit 3 homers in a game this year, JD. 1 ball, 1 strike. So now the Mets have cranked out 10 runs on 11 hits. They've hit 3 homers. They've also hit 3 doubles in the game. Plenty of power. The Mets flexing their muscles as they go for win number 45 for Jerry Manuel. And Livan Hernandez would hope to get that kind of support tomorrow from them. Apparently David got the silent treatment after his home run. Now they get up and they mob him. There's Livan Hernandez. Jack. Wright really drilled one. He hit it high off that wall. Liner to left field. And Francoeur's had a big night. It's his 2nd hit. He's driven in 4, and he's aboard for Corey Sullivan. Hit number 12 for New York.
We highlighted the bullpen in our open. We talked about how good they've been in recent games. Not tonight. Of course, really when you talk about the bullpen, you're mostly concerned with preserving leads. And the Astros didn't have one of those tonight.
They were behind from the 3-run Met 1st inning.
Could be worse. You could have players with the swine flu. That's what the Rangers are dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
Vicente Padilla diagnosed with swine flu.
Several players on the Rangers have been sick recently.
Apparently on the mend, and they feel like they've got the situation under control.
What is the official name for that? The H1N1
Yeah.
virus? I can just see it right now. Everybody's saying, boy, I hope I don't get that H1N1 virus. Strikeout to win the top of the 9th inning, and it's 10-1. Mets. Game. Astros Live is coming up, presented by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, with Bart Ennis out there on the right and Jimmy Wynn, the Astros former slugger, getting into his chair. Highlights and analysis coming your way. We'll hear from Cecil Cooper, and the batting stance guy will provide the answer to that question about whose batting stance he was mimicking. We'll have Jimmy Wynn featured on upcoming Astros Live, in fact. K-Rod is in the game. Francisco Rodriguez has not pitched in several days. He's 23 of 26 in saves.
An all-star again this year. 62 saves last year for the Angels to set a major league record this year. Another solid year for Rodriguez. 45 strikeouts and 44 2/3 innings. He walked 25. Emotional out there on the mound. Fastball, curveball, changeup.
He's pitching for the first time in 5 days. Edwin Masonette, 315, 1 homer, 7 runs batted in. First time up since he returned to the Astros. There's ball 1. Jason Michaels is on deck. And then the pitcher's spot is due up. So Jeff Blum could get a pinch hit at bat if Cecil Cooper so chooses. Masonette backs away, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. K-Rod last pitched 5 days ago in Washington. 1 hitless inning in that one. So Francisco Rodriguez, who signed a 3-year deal for $37 million for the Mets. That's a free agent. It's 2-1. K-Rod pitched a 1-2-3 ninth in the All-Star game. He had a streak of 25 2/3 innings without allowing a run, an earned run, earlier this year through mid-June. 92-mile-per-hour heater.
Way up out of the zone. You got to make sure you get him down with that fastball.
Masonette's been playing at Round Rock after his successful stint with the Astros. Just came up when Lance Berkman was placed on the DL. And he strikes out. 1 out. He made 15 starts for the Astros earlier this season. The last 5 years, he is the leader. Francisco Rodriguez with 217 saves. Trevor Hoffman second. Then Joe Nathan, Mariano Rivera, Francisco Cordero. Jason Michaels, with a 175 batting average, has 14 hits and 80 at bats. 1 homer, 7 runs batted in. Jeff Blum comes out to the on deck circle. That's a changeup at 83. It's a dazzling pitch. Strike one call.
Hey, Jason probably really appreciates getting this at bat now.
He lashes a fastball to left field. Bangs it off the wall. Corey Sullivan plays it back in well to hold him to a single. Yeah, good swing by Jason Michaels.
Jumped all over that heater.
He did.
You know, it's important to get these guys, the bench guys, at bats. It's 10-1 games. It feels like an exhibition game for most folks, but when you're a bench player and you don't get a lot of ABs, you don't want to give up an at bat there. Concentration, good swing of the bat.
Now Jeff Blum, 274, 4 homers, 32 runs batted in. He's pinch hitting for Wesley Wright. Jeff 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter with an RBI. There's strike one to Jeff. He pinch hit last night, grounded out in the 7th inning with the bases loaded. Wesley Wright in 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run. He had no walks and struck out 2. The change works for that strike, and it's 0-2. Hunter Pence is on deck. And Michaels, the base runner, not being held on. Rodriguez now a 4-time All-Star.
Yeah, well, you know, the All-Star game has kind of shifted. I think the managers feel more comfortable taking relievers than they do starters. There used to be starters. Well, there was a time when starters would pitch a bunch of innings, and then it kind of turned into 3 innings, and now it's an inning or 2. And so I think the managers like to stock their clubs with a lot of short inning relievers who are used to pitching in those situations.
2-2. The Mets had 29 blown saves last year, so they shuffled the deck in their bullpen. And K-Rod last year, in that record-setting year JD talked about with 62 saves, never pitched more than 1 inning. Bouncer goes foul.
Yeah, and I don't want to diminish what he did. I mean, you save 62 games, you're doing something right. That's a point I make frequently, and I think a lot of folks agree with me. Saves are a really overrated statistic. I mean, it's not overrated to have talented guys at the back end of your bullpen to close out tight games, but you know, the way the game is managed now, you manage to the stat, and guys can rack up big save numbers, pitching an inning at a time, anytime there's a lead of 3 runs or less.
Murphy takes a look at second, takes the play at first, 2 outs.
They're almost never asked to go more than an inning, sometimes an inning and a third. And high percentage of the time they've got more than a 1-run lead, and they usually come in with the bases empty. So their job, to a certain extent, is easier a lot of times than the 7th and 8th inning guy, other than the fact that they're the last line of defense, and that's what makes the job a little bit tougher because of the pressurized situations that you sometimes find yourself in.
Not sure what this conference would be about. At second base, 2 outs, 10-1 ball game. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3.
He's saying, hey, look, when I saw Hunter at the All-Star game, I told him if I had an opportunity, I'd groove him a fastball.
Yeah. Rodriguez led the American League 3 times in saves before making the transition to the NL over the winter. Chris Costa's on deck. Ball 1. So Jerry Manuel's club has lost 17 of 24. Got the lead early, 3 runs in the first. Was able to build to that with 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th inning. Has had an easy night of it. 10-1 Mets. Astros have beaten the Mets 5 straight times here at Minute Maid Park. Ryan Moeller tomorrow at 1:05 against Livan Hernandez.
Yeah, I was saying earlier that when the inning ended, I think it's important when you're playing as well as the Astros have been playing to not let a game like this deflate you. I mean, they're getting thumped here tonight 10-1. That's why I mentioned earlier. I think if I'm Coop, when this game ends, I go in the clubhouse and I click on the TV or the music or whatever they have going on in there in the clubhouse, and I just treat it like another day at the office. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. 2-1. This is only the 3rd time the Mets have scored 10 runs this year. Francisco Rodriguez has thrown 16 pitches so far. Livan Hernandez 9-5 lifetime against the Astros. He is a battler, and he's up tomorrow.
There are guys of whom it is said, boy, they got easy gas. Boy, nice and easy, and they throw 95 miles an hour. You wouldn't say this about Francisco Rodriguez. He is all effort, man.
Yeah. He puts everything into it. Native of Venezuela. Angels signed him in '98. High to left field. They're getting up in the Landry's Crawford boxes for a Hunter Pence 2-run homer.
Yeah, I told you he was going to do it in the fastball.
Home run number 13 for Hunter Pence, giving him 43 runs batted in.
The Frank Kerr home run earlier in the ballgame, 3-1, hitter's count. He could sit on a fastball in this 10-1 game. The question was, would he be able to catch up to it? The answer is yes. High fastball. He squares it up. And maybe that'll get Hunter started.
Homering off his all-star teammate to make it 10-3. Chris Coast is 1 for 3. It's the first extra base hit by an Astro tonight. Strike 1. For Hunter, who had been slumping, that might be the fire he's been looking for. Hit the ball hard in the 7th inning, too, with that liner to shortstop.
Well, one thing, I'm sure the Astros are obviously aware of that. They've scouted the other clubs and they've had advanced people on the Mets, I'm sure. But K-Rod looks to be the kind of guy that you got the right person up there. You could bunt on him. The way he falls off on that first base side, you have a hard time handling a bunt to push it out the other side of the mound.
Yeah.
Michael Bourne or Matt Sewell, somebody like that.
1-2. That was the 4th home run he surrendered in 45 innings. New coach Avery in Kansas City beat Texas 6-3. Eric Holland took the loss. Joaquin Soria with his 15th save. It's 2-2. Milwaukee has added to its lead over Atlanta 4-0 after 8 at Milwaukee. Kepinger's on deck. Now a full count to Chris Coast. If nothing else, K-Rod has had to throw 23 pitches here in the inning, so if he has to come back on less than 24 hours rest tomorrow, perhaps that will have an impact, but he's been working with 5 days rest here. Those kids are still fired up. About to let the energy wane. It's foul back.
Beauty of youth, isn't it? You can't convince that kid this game is over. No way.
Nope.
You got 27 outs. You can use every last one of them.
He's rooting for extra innings, JD.
I've seen too many good things happen in his young life.
Liner field. Past the diving Coral. Coast is 2 for 4 tonight. He continues to seize the opportunity. Youngster doesn't want it to be over.
There's our fan of the game right there.
Let's get Bart back down there.
Let's steal that bag from that guy from Detroit that's heckling outfielders to give it to that kid.
Coast is aboard. Now the meeting behind the mound. You're not getting that kid to go home.
Yeah, I want him on my club. There's no quitting that young man.
Well, right around midnight, you might hope there's a little quit.
There might be 48 ounces of coke in him, but there's no quit in him.
Cappinger's 0 for 3. Quintero on deck. One more for the young man. Strike one.
Well, you're right, though. The pitch count is getting to be an issue for Rodriguez here. Jerry Manuel's got action in his bullpen. Obviously not worried that this one's going to get away, but doesn't want to leave Rodriguez out there too long and make him unavailable for tomorrow afternoon.
One ball and one strike. A lot of times when closers come in just to get work, it's not too pretty.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the hitters. I think the hitters are just have a better approach and they're not as anxious.
As you see here, 2-1. It looks as if from the warm-up action in the Mets bullpen, Jerry Manuel's just about to pull the plug if Keppinger gets on. Call it a night for K-Rod, save him for tomorrow.
Well, and in just about any losing dugout in the bottom of the ninth inning, somebody's going to say, "Hey, let's give him the finish." You always hear that line in the dugout, and and this is the reason why. One, you just want to have good at bats, something that an individual hitter can carry forward to the next day, and two, put a little pressure on the opposing pitcher and maybe working hard. Yeah, it's time for their divine intervention.
Like that. Not only the youngsters. But K-Rod finishes it with his second strikeout. And the Astros come up with 2 in the ninth on 3 hits. They leave a man. The Mets have squared the series by winning this one 10-3. K-Rod getting the final 3 outs on a Jonathan Nice win. Russ Ortiz, the loser, is 3-5. Nice 1-0. Ortiz 3-5. New York 10. Houston 3. Back in a moment.